When you get home, ring one of these two numbers in Moscow. When someone answers, blow down the mouthpiece 3 times and hang up.
There are enough nuclear weapons on Earth to wipe out the human race. We have already stood on the very brink of Armageddon.
I call upon Chairman Khrushchev to halt and eliminate this provocative threat to world peace.
The race for nuclear supremacy has fueled a world of conspiracy, deceit, and espionage.
I know generals, marshals, people close to Khrushchev, the atomic Hitler. I'm your soldier now.
It is a race in which spies risk their lives to betray their country, their friends, and their family.
Can I trust her with my life?
He's one of our very best people.
And at its heart lie the world's best-kept secrets.
Give me the weapons, and I will cripple the Soviet High Command with my own hands.
Soviet Colonel Oleg Penkovsky spied in the build-up to the gravest nuclear crisis of all time, when the world came close to annihilation.
My friends, I have at my disposal very important materials on many subjects of importance to your government. I wish to pass these materials to you immediately.
In 1960, Penkovsky wrote a letter to the West that could have cost him his life.
Excuse me, gentlemen, excuse me, do you have a light? Thank you. Ah, you're American.
Students just visiting.
I have something of great importance to your government. Take this to your embassy. Please, please.
It is your good friend who is turning to you. A friend who has already become your soldier warrior for the cause of truth. For the ideals of a truly free world and of democracy for mankind.
His offer to spy for the West reached Washington, but the CIA failed to make contact. A colonel in military intelligence, Penkovsky wanted to change sides in the Cold War. The struggle between American-style democracy and Soviet communism. Both sides locked in a nuclear arms race that could destroy civilization at the push of a button.
Oh, Colonel Wynn. Lovely to meet you.
9 months later, Penkovsky approached another Westerner, British businessman Greville Wynn.
The possibility of get tickets for Bolshoi Belly, perhaps you would like...
Under the nose of the notorious secret police, the KGB, Penkovsky observed Wynn closely for several weeks. He made his move as Wynn left for London.
I have been watching you. I understand you. I think it's time to decide, do you trust me or not?
What the hell is that?
It's military secrets, Greville. You must take them to London, please.
If they find this on me, I'll never get out of Russia alive.
What is it to be, yes or no? I have many things to tell the West. Show your people this, and they will know. Quickly. The letter, at least. Thank you.
Wynn took the letter to the British Secret Intelligence Service, MI6. Penkovsky made an astonishing claim that turned Cold War perceptions on their head. The Soviets were way behind in the nuclear race, but Khrushchev was planning an all-out nuclear attack.
Good flight, Alex?
Very good flight, thank you, Greville.
In April 1961, Penkovsky finally reached London as a trade delegate employed by the Soviets to spy on the British.
Welcome to the other side.
I can't thank you enough for getting me here.
British intelligence made sure Greville Wynne hosted the trade mission.
Some very important people want to see you tonight at the hotel. Of course, you'll have to convince them that you're not KGB.
I know what to expect.
The secret rendezvous was at the Mount Royal Hotel, central London. The British and Americans had agreed to run Penkovsky jointly.
He's taking his time.
Harry Shergold of MI6 had a reputation for getting the best out of his agents.
Maybe he's had second thought.
He'll come.
Joe Bulik was head of Soviet operations for the CIA, a much younger agency.
Well, who knows you're in contact with us?
No one.
You're alone.
Utterly.
Your wife?
Vera knows nothing. She's safer that way. I am a colonel in military intelligence. I do not work for the KGB. They despise us. My father fought the communists. They killed him.
Where was this?
At Rostov, I never knew him. I was only 4 months old. That is why I have never been made a general. These are the scum that run my country. I fought Hitler's Germany, and now I wish to be a soldier in your army. To adopt a new people, fight for a new ideal, democracy, and in some way to avenge the death of my father. Совершенно секретно. Top secret. Read this, and you will know who I am. Your cause is my cause. I'm your soldier now.
Ah, George, all set?
Yeah, everything's fine. Got a room going upstairs and 3 transcribers working in here.
I swear by my mother, my child, my conscience, my brain, my...
You're certainly very intense, highly strung. Authentication confirmed.
Every word, sir. This is the field manual of their new surface-to-air missile. Top secret.
The Russians wouldn't give this stuff away just to set us up. It's way too good.
I'm tempted to agree. But can we trust him? We know he's a double agent, so who's he fooling? The Russians or us?
Every word Penkovsky told his handlers was transcribed and can now be read in the CIA's declassified files under his code name, Hero.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, good morning.
Greville,
Harry.
how was the journey?
Train tickets inside.
The British knew the Soviets were employing Penkovsky as a spy.
Thank you, good morning.
Scotch.
Oh, please, Harry.
Joe Bulik, CIA, they're working with us on this one.
Greville Wynne. Nice to meet you.
Greville Wynne was to help Penkovsky with the theft of British industrial secrets, to appear to be advancing Khrushchev's missile program.
What are we giving him?
Oh, precisely what we agreed on. Just enough to keep the Russians sweet. It's the very latest that the West has to offer in terms of high-temperature resistant steel.
How much time did you spend with him in Moscow?
Enough to know he's genuine.
We trust him.
I trust him with my life, Harry.
You sure he's not KGB?
Christ, no. He's many things, Harry. He's complicated, demanding, romantic, extreme even. And yes, he's bitter they've never made him a general, but he's not KGB. The whole thing's really quite simple. He thinks Khrushchev's a crazy warmonger. And for all I know, he's right. And he loathes communism. Thinks it's all a catastrophic sham run by scumbags, and for over 40 years the Russians have suffered for nothing.
Well, you think he's sincere? He seems to enjoy the perks of the communist system.
Likes his creature comforts and isn't afraid to say so.
He wants money for his information. Quite a lot of money.
Well, he wants to provide for his family.
But it seems he screws around.
I can tell you he loves his wife and daughter deeply. Look, if you want a saint, forget it. But if you want someone who'll go to the end of the earth for you, he's your man. I put my capitalist mortgage on it.
That spring, the Cold War between capitalism and communism had found a new flashpoint. Just 90 miles from America, Cuba. Fidel Castro had led a socialist revolution. Kennedy had backed an invasion of Cuba by Cuban emigres. But this ended in defeat at the Bay of Pigs. A massive humiliation for Kennedy. Penkovsky gave the young president a grim warning.
Mr. Kennedy should accuse Khrushchev of arming Castro with Soviet tanks and guns. There may even be a few anti-aircraft missiles in Cuba already from Soviet Union.
On Cuba?
He also said he had access to Khrushchev's military elite.
I know generals, marshals, people close to Khrushchev. They tell me things. Marshal Sergei Vorontsov. He says himself, I am like a son to him.
And he claimed Khrushchev wanted nuclear war.
German Khrushchev is the new Hitler. The atomic Hitler. He's given himself the task of instigating nuclear war. He wants to bury Western imperialism under a rain of missiles. His phrase, gentlemen, I assure you, he needs 2 or 3 years. No longer, believe me. Do you understand?
Your milk, sir.
Milk? Oh, yes, thank you. To create a rain of missiles. This is Khrushchev's own expression. It was told me by Marshal Vorontsov. Today he will not start a war. He will rent and rave and sell a few small arms here and there. There was talk about this with Cuba, and possibly a few rockets are already there. Give me the weapons, and I will cripple the Soviet High Command with my own hands.
With nuclear warheads?
Of course. Small 2-kiloton warheads.
I'm not sure that's practical.
Use me only for the big things. I want you to be satisfied with me.
Cameras, cassettes. Find out all you can about Khrushchev's thinking on missile strategy. Pass all you get to her. Janet Chisholm. Always refer to her as Anne.
Can I trust her with my life?
She's one of our very best people. Her husband works in the British Embassy. Whatever you give her, she'll give him. Within 24 hours, it'll be in the diplomatic bag from Moscow.
This is good. Very good.
For your Moscow spy masters, to help with the chairman's missiles, but just a little. For Marshal Vorentsov, it's the same vintage as he is. Enjoy it if he doesn't know it's from us. And this, so you can enjoy a smoke while he talks to you.
Oh, gentlemen, this is most helpful.
Oleg, remember, if it goes wrong, our people just get expelled as embassy officials. But you...
I'd be gone.
Yes.
Joe, you won't change, will you? You will always be my handlers.
Of course.
You promise?
I promise.
Good luck, Oleg.
Thank you, Harry.
After 16 secret meetings, Penkovsky returned to his wife and family in Moscow. The Cold War leaders clashed that summer in Vienna, with mutual threats of war over Berlin. As tension rose, the West urgently wanted to know about Soviet armaments and strategy.
Put it on.
Oleg, come back to bed.
Of course, madame.
Sergei Sergeyevich.
From one soldier to another.
Oh, Oleg, this is most generous. Oh. Look, with my name.
Your name? Yes.
Oh. Fantastic. Thank you.
Oh, I have a favor to ask.
Of course, go ahead.
I need continual access to secret documents in the Military Academy library for a research paper on nuclear strategy.
Consider it done.
When I think of all you've done for
Stop. Thank you for the erectile medication. My wife is very happy.
There is one other thing.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the belly of the capitalist West, I give you Cognac Grand Fin Champagne Logis de la Motte, vintage 1901, 60 today.
Oleg, that is wonderful. My boy has really outdone himself.
To Sergei. Sergei Sergeyevich Vorontsov. Also 60 today. And now Chief Marshal.
Oh, wonderful, Oleg. To Chairman Khrushchev.
Chairman Khrushchev.
Oleg, a word. Khrushchev is planning a major escapade. You know, he calls Berlin the balls of the West. He wants to give them a painful squeeze. Freeze the West out of there once and for all. Our troops later this year are going to be on battle alert. They'll be using battlefield nuclear weapons. After the Bay of Pigs, Khrushchev thinks that Kennedy and NATO will just stand by and watch. What do you think?
It's too early to tell.
It's a risky business.
It was a momentous disclosure. Confirmation that Khrushchev was deploying nuclear weapons outside the Soviet Union.
By special permission of Chief Marshal Vorontsov.
Penkovsky now embarked on bringing to the West an unparalleled wealth of classified information. From reports on the thoughts of Soviet high command to 10,000 pages of military secrets.
Janet Chisholm. Her husband works in the British Embassy. Whatever you give her, she'll give him. Within 24 hours, it'll be in the diplomatic bag from Moscow.
To fool any watching KGB men, Penkovsky and Chisholm pretended to be total strangers at a chance meeting.
What beautiful children.
Thank you.
Like their mother.
I'm flattered.
Please, may I present these to your family?
So kind, so kind. Do, take one.
Ah, another time, I hope. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Who's for chocolate?
Came in last night from Hero by the diplomatic pouch. Bad news for NATO.
Nuclear weapons in East Germany? The Soviets are changing their rules.
This level of information, Joe, it's unprecedented.
By July 13th, Penkovsky's information was on Kennedy's desk. He was told its author was a colonel in Soviet military intelligence. It corroborated his decision to take a tougher stance towards Khrushchev. That July, Penkovsky managed to get back to London. Soviet cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin had also been in town, received by the Queen herself.
Joe, have I done good work for you?
Wonderful work. You know we think that.
Then I demand to meet your president and your queen.
I'm not sure that...
Gagarin makes the West look stupid, and then he dines with the Queen. Has he done more for you than me? Is he a soldier in your army?
Oleg, you're our soldier. Please, we've got something for you. I think you'll like it. Come and have a look. Come on, Oleg. Yeah. Yeah, that looks all right. And there's a cap as well. There's scrambled egg and everything.
Scrambled egg and everything.
It suits you. Let's take a photograph.
Okay. I am a general now. Perhaps your army will make me general also.
Let's see what we can do.
His handlers gave Penkovsky a complex early warning procedure for urgent messages, including the very worst scenario, imminent attack by the Soviets.
You leave the message behind the radiator at the dead drop site. Then mark telegraph pole 35 on the Kutuzovsky Boulevard.
Kutuzovsky, yes.
When you get home, ring one of these two numbers in Moscow. When someone answers, blow down the mouthpiece 3 times and hang up. Repeat again after a minute. We go to the dead drop site to pick up the message.
I understand.
This could not be more important. If we receive your signal and other intelligence confirms it, we'll know the Soviets intend to go to war.
I am honored by this task.
If Wynn's in Moscow too much, the KGB will suspect him, so keep using Chisholm, but I suggest a monthly contact. Safer.
No, weekly. It has to be weekly, or I will have too much on me for too long.
Then every Friday it is, 1 p.m., you proceed to a discreet location for a brush contact.
We'll soon have our men at the U.S. Embassy. Your contact will be wearing a tie pin, exactly like this.
Joe, thank you. Harry.
Good luck, Oleg.
Thank you. I hope we meet again.
Penkovsky was going back behind the Iron Curtain as the Cold War intensified still further. That August, another flashpoint. Berlin. The Soviets began building a wall round West Berlin to stop East Germans fleeing to freedom. Just as Penkovsky had warned, the Soviets were stepping up missile production. But he had access to their top-secret operational manuals.
SS-4. Range over 1,000 miles. Payload, single warhead up to 3 megatons. Launchpad assembly. Warhead storage. Nose cone mating. Powered by 4 combustion engines, driven by 1 turbo fuel pump, ensuring that all fire instantaneously and guarantee a perfect vertical lift.
Sticky door, comrade. I need 5 more minutes.
Film and letters.
With the eyes of the world on Berlin, Kennedy authorized Operation Mongoose. The CIA was to do anything to dislodge Castro from Cuba, from trade embargoes and sabotage to invasion and assassination.
Хорошо. Сделаешь, доложишь мне лично. Доброе утро, товарищи. Сережа, фотографию захвати, пожалуйста.
That autumn, Lieutenant General Gribanov, head of KGB counterintelligence, supervised a routine surveillance sweep of Western Embassy staff in Moscow.
Follow the same procedure as always. Western Embassy staff has to be closely observed. Husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends, everyone, day and night. Prioritize known agents. Get to know those faces.
Colonel Oleg Penkovsky, military intelligence.
This little shit has some powerful friends. So, we have to tread carefully. But there are only three possibilities. First, he's screwing Mrs. Chisholm. I would like to. Second, he's running some secret military intelligence operation we know nothing about. And third, he's a traitor. And the British are getting careless. Keep close. Day and night. We'll find out.
It was months before Penkovsky could get word to his handlers explaining his silence.
Message from Hero. Good night. Surveillance is being conducted on Anne, perhaps intermittently. I urge all meetings on the street be stopped for 3 or 4 months. KGB knows something.
We gotta protect him, Harry. Keep him back for big things like he asked.
He's a professional. He's used to working under surveillance. Look at what he's given us. We must go on. We can always pull the Chisholms out if we have to. Diplomatic immunity.
And Hero?
Well, he's Russian.
He's our soldier.
He's our agent. See you in the morning, Joe. Good night.
At Penkovsky's request, he next met Chisholm in the safer environment of a British embassy function.
Very well, how are you?
Good, very well, thank you.
It's good.
I'm being withdrawn.
But when will you be back?
Later in the year. How's your little one?
Janet, this may be the last time I see you.
For a while. Just for a while.
I don't know. The KGB are very close, even here.
But they know nothing. They just suspect.
I must get out of Russia for good with all my family.
Alex, I haven't seen you like this before.
My friends, even today I drop everything and leave this parasitic place with my family. What should I do for the future? Which city is it best for me to move to, so it would be easier to carry out this dream?
The Americans had over 20,000 nuclear warheads, 10 times more than the Soviets. Kennedy was surrounding Khrushchev with missiles. The UK, Italy, Turkey. Nuclear encirclement. Khrushchev's countermove. Operation Anadur. He gathered the largest arsenal of nuclear missiles ever assembled in Russia. Their destination, Cuba. Their target, America. With Janet Chisholm back in England, Penkovsky's handlers sent Wynne to Moscow.
Now, Alex, Sheila's been very busy, and she's bought you some baby clothes.
Greville, this is most kind. Oh, you have not seen Marina yet? Ah, there she is.
She's beautiful. How old is she now?
4 months. The same age I was when they killed my father.
When they arrived at Wynne's hotel, the KGB were already there, undercover.
I met your new contact.
Yes, please turn on the taps, because doesn't matter, Greville, because they are everywhere!
Alex! Young, We'll arrive in 3 or 4 weeks.
Greville! I am tired. Very tired. I need to get out for good. It's getting very dangerous. I must get out with my family. Perhaps by submarine. Help me in London.
I'll tell them, Alex, I give you my word.
Guards! Greville! I need an internal passport in someone else's name so I can travel across Soviet Union and try to prepare an escape route for them. My family, Greville. My family. An internal passport. Someone else's name so I can travel across Soviet Union.
What you have been bringing out, that material, is the most important material we have ever had.
Take the next plane out! Go!
Bad news, I'm afraid. Hero's in deep trouble.
How come?
KGB surveillance. The British have overused him, and the KGB are on his tail.
Just when we need him the most.
CIA Chief John McCone faced the biggest test of his career, Cuba.
Chisholm and Wynne are out of the picture. Our new guys are in place. The contact should happen soon. We're looking to do a safe exchange with Penkovsky, trying to get him out of Russia before it's too late.
Well, get him out if you can. But get the information out first. I want to know what's happening on Cuba. Maybe he can tell us.
On July the 20th, McCone told Kennedy about the surveillance on Penkovsky. It was heavier than anyone realized. The KGB even filmed Penkovsky as he photographed documents by the window. With missile parts hidden below deck, Soviet ships raced to Cuba. By August, the CIA had counted 85 vessels, but could see no sign of troops or missiles. Khrushchev's Operation Anadyr was gathering pace.
Can you spool it up? Can you spool it up? Yeah, it's good. It's good.
So what have we got?
Well, nothing definite. Nothing at all, sir.
Well, what else can these ships be for?
Well, they've never put medium-range missiles outside of the Soviet Union.
Yeah, okay. Now, let's say I'm Khrushchev. I can't hit the USA from the Soviet Union because my long-range missiles don't work. But if I put medium-range missiles on Cuba, I can target the USA from a communist territory. So if Castro invited me to bring in the nukes, I'd accept. Believe me, they'll put them in there. I know it. Keep looking.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
On August the 22nd, McCone told Kennedy he believed Khrushchev was putting nuclear missiles on Cuba. But with no proof, no one in the White House believed him. That August, Kennedy stepped up Operation Mongoose. He planned a rehearsal for a full-scale invasion of Cuba. Meanwhile, the CIA got their man to Moscow with a forged passport for Penkovsky to help his escape plans.
Oleg Penkovsky, Scientific Research Council.
I am not disappointed with my life or work. If I succeed in contributing my little brick to our great cause, there can be no greater satisfaction.
Letter from Penkovsky. It is not advisable to cease photography now. It is necessary to continue this work until they take away my pass.
SS-5. Range 2,200 miles. Operational manual. Fueling procedure.
Penkovsky then got alarming news from Chief Marshal Vorentsov.
Khrushchev has ordered nuclear missiles into Cuba. The SS-4 is already on their way. 36 of them. The warheads will follow later this month.
My God.
They'll be fully operational by mid-October, and then there will be 50,000 Soviet troops in Cuba, including missile regiments.
This is madness.
This is Khrushchev.
The Soviets assured Kennedy their build-up on Cuba was defensive only. Kennedy believed them. But within days, spy planes produced the first proof of missiles on Cuba. Defensive rockets. McCone was convinced they were there to protect nuclear missiles. America was being targeted. So was Agent Hero. The KGB say Penkovsky was now confined to hospital with a skin complaint. There are suggestions he was poisoned. Whatever happened, he was unable to warn the West about missiles on Cuba. Khrushchev was close to achieving his goal. On October 4th, 99 warheads arrived in Cuba. enough to flatten every major city in America. But with heavy cloud cover, CIA spy planes saw nothing. All this changed on October 14th, with the first photos of offensive nuclear weapons.
The missile erector, the missiles covered in canvas, offensive missiles. The question is, how far can they reach?
Apart from the photos, all they had to go on were the missile manuals Penkovsky had given them.
How long are they?
Around 50 feet, sir.
50 feet. It's an SS-4 without its nose cone. Well, we know from here the nose cone's kept separate until the final stages. It has to be an SS-4.
Are you sure, sir?
Why go to the trouble to put in anything smaller? I mean, the SS-4's got a range of over 1,000 miles. All this is within their reach. The whole of the Southeast, 18 strategic air command bases, 1 ICBM complex, plus Dallas, Atlanta, New Orleans, Washington, D.C., of course. Okay, Dino.
With Penkovsky's help, the Soviet threat on Cuba had been correctly identified. Kennedy was told at once. By October 18th, 2 SS-4 missile sites were clearly operational. Later that day, another chilling discovery.
Now, these 4 slash marks are launch pad excavations, sir. Much bigger than SS-4s. These are sites for SS-5s. Length 82 feet, range 2,200 miles. When they're operational, they'll be able to hit almost every city in the US of A.
How long have we got?
4 weeks minimum, at best 8.
How can you be so sure?
He's a hero, sir. He brought us the SS-5 manual.
Once again, Penkovsky's information was critical. The Americans now knew that within 4 to 8 weeks, almost every city in the US could be hit. On October 22nd, Kennedy addressed the nation.
Unmistakable evidence has established the fact that a series of offensive missile sites is now in preparation on that imprisoned island. The purpose of these bases can be none other than to provide a nuclear strike capability against the Western Hemisphere. Several of them include medium-range ballistic missiles capable of carrying a nuclear warhead for a distance of more than 1,000 nautical miles. To halt this offensive buildup, a strict quarantine on all offensive military equipment under shipment to Cuba is being initiated. I call upon Chairman Khrushchev to halt and eliminate this clandestine, reckless, and provocative threat to world peace and to stable relations between our two nations.
Where are you taking me?
Strap. Strap.
My name is Oleg Penkovsky. I am a colonel in military intelligence. I am a very close friend of Chief Marshal Vorontsov. I would very much like you to contact him and tell him...
Faster.
What it is you are charging me with.
Do you confess to spying for the foreign agencies against the Soviet Union?
I don't know what you're talking about, General.
We know everything. Everything. Confess. If you do, your family will be looked after. But if you don't, well,
I would like to confess, Comrade Kripanov. I would like to become an honest citizen again. The man I used to be.
Good.
The cost of freedom is always high, but Americans have always paid it. And one path we shall never choose, and that is the path of surrender.
Thanks not least to Penkovsky, the president knew one wrong move might unleash a nuclear attack from Cuba. He therefore held back from invasion and ordered a naval blockade. Soviet ships were still speeding towards Cuba, loaded with missile components. The KGB claimed Penkovsky now made an astonishing offer.
Make me a triple agent. I could get a great deal more information and materials from the enemy. This is the aim of my life. Please don't make me a corpse. If I betray my promise and send materials of a poor quality or disinformation, you can destroy my family.
Was he a triple agent, or was he double-crossing the KGB once again? On the 26th of October, Khrushchev offered to withdraw the missiles if Kennedy lifted the blockade and promised not to invade Cuba. Then the Soviets shot down a US spy plane over Cuba, killing the pilot. Armageddon was one step away. Khrushchev demanded that, as part of the deal, Kennedy withdrew his missiles from Turkey. On October 28th, Kennedy privately agreed to this, while publicly accepting the first Soviet peace offer. The crisis was over, but Penkovsky didn't know. CIA agent Joe Bulik always believed Hero then tried to trigger a nuclear attack on Moscow.
The British and Americans, they gave me a system to warn of any emergency.
What is the number? And what is the signal?
You leave the message behind the radiator at the dead drop site. Then mark telegraph pole 35 on the Kutuzovsky Boulevard.
When you get home, ring one of these two numbers in Moscow. When someone answers, blow down the mouthpiece 3 times and hang up. Repeat again after a minute. We go to the dead drop site to pick up the message.
Okay, write it down.
This could not be more important. If we receive the signal and other intelligence confirms it, we'll know the Soviets intend to go to war.
Sir, the KGB's deported our man. He's on the plane back.
So what was the early warning? A KGB trick to see who'd come to the dead drop?
Possibly, sir. I think Hero told them the procedure and not what it could mean. Maybe this was his last attempt at blowing up Soviet high command. If he couldn't do it himself, he was going to get us to do it. Bring it down on his head before the Soviets made a first strike.
Minkowski?
Question is, how much do they know?
They'll never turn him. He's too loyal. We should get him back, negotiate a deal.
It's not going to happen.
We overuse him, then we drop him?
He's done a great job.
But he was our soldier.
He was on the wrong side.
In May 1963, Penkovsky and Wynne were tried in Moscow. The KGB had arrested Wynne in Hungary.
Разведчики угрозами заставили его вступить на путь шпионажа. Признавшись, Вин заявил, что I plead guilty, but with certain reservations, details of which I will give in my statement.
Sentenced to 8 years, he was released within 18 months in a spy exchange.
Да, я полностью понимаю, в чем я обвиняю.
Oleg Penkovsky received the sentence of a common traitor. He never knew it, but his information helped Kennedy avoid nuclear war.
Citizen Penkovsky?
Whether he tried to provoke a nuclear attack on Moscow, we shall never know. In 18 months as a spy for the West, he'd shown great bravery. Next week on Nuclear Secrets, the dawn of the atomic age.
Well, if it ignites the atmosphere, we will all die.
The spy who stole the blueprint of the most destructive weapon ever seen.
I knew exactly what I had to do.
And helped 3 different countries get the bomb.
And that's at the same time, 9 o'clock next Monday. Next tonight. Trust me, I'm a healer.